National News Studio here at Rupavahini. I'm Kasini Balachandra. Joining me is Nikit Karnaratna. Let's start off with a quick look at the headlines.
Ranil Wickremesinghe has been elected as the 8th executive president of Sri Lanka. The new president requests the support of the parliamentarians to bring the country forward. The president congratulates the three armed forces and the police for effectively strengthening security in parliament and surrounding areas. Swearing in of the new president will take place in the parliamentary complex tomorrow. The International Monetary Fund expresses hope of speedily concluding talks with Sri Lanka. Fuel restrictions under the QR code have been declared. Schools are to be reopened from next Monday, subjected to 3 days per week. Temperatures in many European countries increase to record levels.
On to those and other stories in detail now. A brief note on Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was elected as the 8th president today. Ranil Wickremesinghe had his preliminary education from Royal College, Colombo. He is a law graduate of the University of Colombo. He entered Parliament for the first time by winning the Biagama seat in 1977. Ranil Wickremesinghe had functioned as the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs in the government of President J.R. Jayawardena. He holds the record of being the youngest cabinet minister. He became a cabinet minister of Youth Affairs and Employment at the age of 28. He also held the posts of Education and Industries as well. Ranil Wickremesinghe was credited with inheriting an educational reform and industrial policy to the country. His other achievements included the creation of the National Youth Services Council and the Yonpura concept for the task of enhancing youth leadership development. He was elected to the leadership of the United National Party in 1994. Ranil Wickremesinghe, after securing 109 seats in the general election of 2001, had become the 17th Prime Minister. He was elected to the post of opposition leader in the general election of 2005. He had acted with dedication by putting forward the concept of common candidate in the presidential election of 2015. President Maithripala Sirisena had appointed him as the Prime Minister in the government that came to power in 2015. In the August 2015 election, UNP had won 106 seats. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe was instrumental in safeguarding parliamentary democracy during his 3.5-year tenure as Prime Minister. He was also appointed as President of the Asia Pacific Democratic Association. Wickremesinghe has shown a great interest in Buddhism and history. He was the author of the literary work titled Politics and Dharma. As a token of recognition for the immense service rendered by Ranil Wickremesinghe as a parliamentarian for Sri Lanka's progress in the fields of economy, education and humanities, the Deakin University of Australia had bestowed upon him a doctorate in 2001. The people of Sri Lanka had handed over the responsibility of rebuilding the economy when the country had recorded a minus economic growth rate and depletion of the dollar reserve. The momentous task of Wickremesinghe to stabilize the rupee and to strengthen the foreign reserves is recorded in the country's history. Ranil Wickremesinghe had been offered once again the post of Prime Minister in May this year, at a time when the country was confronted with a massive economic crisis. Ranil Wickremesinghe, using his vast experience, had commenced speedy discussions with the International Monetary Fund and other global financial institutions. The talks have now reached the final stage. It is the fervent hope of the nation that Ranil Wickremesinghe would engage in a significant task as the president, utilizing his talents as a politician who had represented Parliament for nearly 50 years. Ranil Wickremesinghe was elected as the 8th executive president of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka today.
He has secured 134 votes in the parliamentary vote to elect the new president. This was the first occasion in history of a president being elected by the votes of the parliamentarians. Stringent security precautions have been enforced in and around Parliament today.
Top story.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa resigned from the post of presidency on the 14th of this month. Since then, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has been functioning as the acting president. Nominations have been submitted by Ranil Wickremesinghe, Dala Salaha Peruma and Andhra Kumar Disanayake in the presidential vote yesterday. Secretary General of Parliament Dhammika Dasanayake has functioned as the returning officer of the vote, which commenced at 10 o'clock this morning. Secretary General of Parliament Dhammika Dasanayake said that upon commencement of voting, the Chief of Staff and Deputy Secretary General of Parliament called the name list of the members of Parliament prepared according to the standing orders of Parliament. In the back of the ballot paper, the short signature of the Secretary General had been included.
Honorable Mahindayapa Abeyewardena.
Speaker Mahindayapa Abeyewardena has voted after being granted the opportunity to vote first.
Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe. Honorable Professor G.L. Peris. Honorable Sajith Premadasa.
Thank you.
Honorable Dala Salaha Peruma. Honorable Sagara Karyavasam. Honorable Anura Disanayake. Honorable Chamara Sampath Dasanayake. Honorable Samanpriya Herath. Honorable Mahinda Rajapaksa. Honorable D. Veerasinghe. Honorable Vimal Veeravansa. Honorable Jayanta Veerasinghe. Honorable Rajavarotiyam Sambandhan. Honorable Maithripala Sirisena. Honorable Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca.
Thereafter, the remaining 225 members were given the opportunity of voting. 223 of them have voted. Parliamentarians G.G. Ponnambalam and Selvaraja Gajendran have refrained from voting. 4 ballots have been rejected. Thereafter, vote counting commenced. 3 parliamentarians have been accorded the opportunity to engage in the monitoring of the counting procedure. Harin Fernando has represented Ranil Wickremesinghe and Dylan Pereira represented Dala Salaha Peruma. Andhra Kumar Disanayake was represented by Vijitha Herath. Thereafter, returning officer Dhammika Dasanayake announced the final result of the vote. Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was elected as the 8th executive president of Sri Lanka, is scheduled to be sworn in tomorrow morning. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has requested the Speaker today to grant permission to conduct the swearing ceremony in the parliamentary building outside the Parliament chamber.
Newly elected President Ranil Wickremesinghe calls on all to extend their support by ending the era of division. He has expressed his opinion after the declaration of the results of the parliamentary vote today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he has been in Parliament for 45 years. He added that his life in the Parliament chamber. The new president has extended thanks for giving him the honour. He has recalled that 29 years ago, in the year 1993, they had assembled in Parliament in a similar fashion to appoint a new president. However, on that occasion, D.B. Wijetunga was elected uncontested to the post. The president further said that around 15 parliamentarians who were present at that occasion still remain in Parliament. He added that, however, in the second instance, a vote was needed. The president further said that the MPs have demonstrated the fact that they were able to elect a new president without a problem. He added that therefore he has an obligation to thank everybody who took part in the process. The president further said that the country is presently hovering in a dangerous position. The country is confronted by numerous foreign-related issues. He further said that he is thankful to his challengers, Dala Salaha Peruma and Anurakumara Disanayaka, and requested them to work with him. He made the same request from Sajith Premadasa and also from MP Sambandhan of the Tamil National Alliance. The same request has been made from the leader of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Mahinda Rajapaksha, and Maithripala Sirisena. He has also requested the Speaker to give him the opportunity to take oaths in the new post in a parliamentary building outside of the Parliament chamber. Parliamentarian Dala Salha Peruma, who has contested in the vote to elect a new president, says the prominent responsibility entrusted upon the new government is the resolution of the existing crisis.
He has further stated that his team is prepared to extend the necessary support to fulfill this responsibility. The MP was addressing the Parliament after the release of the results of the vote. Parliamentarian Dala Salha Peruma said that what they had wanted was to establish the first government of consensus in history. He added that although they had lost, they believe that their efforts have realized. He has also thanked Sajith Premadasa, who has nominated his candidature, and Minister Professor G.L. Pires, who has seconded the proposal. He has also congratulated Ranil Wickremesinghe over the victory and extended his respect to all those in Parliament who have committed themselves for the conducting of a successful election. The aim of all is to cure the ills prevailing in the country. He believed that all people would join them in their endeavour. He has also recalled with gratitude the cooperation extended to him by the late Prime Minister Sirimavo Bandaranaike and late Minister Mangala Samaraweera.
මං කැමතියි ජයග්‍රාහක අපේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාට සුබපතන අතරෙම මේ අරමුණු වෙනුවෙන් කැපවෙච්ච මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ හැම දෙනාටම මගේ පුද්ගලික ගෞරවයත් මේ රටේ මිලියන ගණනාවක මහා ජනතාවගේ ගෞරවයත් මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට ඕනේ. අනුර දිසානායක මැතිතුමා
Parliamentarian Anurakumara Disanayaka said that the current parliament represents the state of incivility. MPs are being sold like teak timber. He further said that the current president's parliamentary vote has also displayed that rudeness. Anura Disanayaka also said the current parliament does not portray the actual willingness of the people. Leader of the House, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, and opposition leader Sajith Premadasa have expressed their opinion in Parliament today after the election of a new president. Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said he believed that many in the government as well as in the opposition have voted to their candidate. He further said that he is having a relationship dating back to around 70 years with the new president. He added that there may be political differences between themselves. However, the crucial factor is humanity, which is common to all. The state of impermanence was reflected through the incident of setting fire to the house of Ranil Wickremesinghe. Nothing remains in the same manner forever. He added that we must try to overcome the present-day challenges.
සාක්ෂි සටහන් තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අනිත්‍ය පිළිබඳ විශ්වාසයක් අපිට තිබෙනවා. සදාකාලික එකම දේ එකාකාරව පවතින්නේ නැති බවත් ලෝකෙ ඔප්පු වෙලා තියෙනවා. අපි මේ අභියෝගය ජයගත යුතුමයි. මේ රට ගොඩනැගීමේ ජාතික
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that they must devise a national plan to rebuild the nation. He said that only a constitutional procedure has taken place in Parliament. He added that people are living in great misery. He also added that they believe that the new president will give leadership to the country and will engage in the necessary political reforms. The country is undergoing hardship today as a result of the 20th Amendment. He also said that they will extend their fullest support to fulfill the national objectives. Ranil Wickremesinghe, when leaving Parliament after being appointed as president today, has thanked the three armed forces and the police. The security forces personnel have been maintaining security in Parliament and adjacent areas for several days. The President on the way stopped at the roadblock near the Polduva junction and met the soldiers to convey his gratitude. The President has left the place around 4 p.m.
People were seen in many parts of the island celebrating and expressing their joy after hearing the news of the election of Ranil Wickremesinghe as the 8th executive president of the country.
Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, said the International Monetary Fund hopes to complete rescue talks with Sri Lanka as quickly as possible. Speaking with foreign media in Tokyo, Georgieva said the fund was very deeply concerned about the well-being of the people in Sri Lanka. Georgieva vowed that the moment there's a government that they can continue our discussions with, that team will be in Sri Lanka. She added that she was very hopeful that based on the good technical work they have already done and the fact that this technical team of Sri Lanka is there, the IMF can complete program negotiations as quickly as possible. She added that Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe is no stranger to the IMF as a finance minister and 6-time prime minister who has had a hand in negotiations. Georgieva said that the IMF would work with any Sri Lankan administration as long as the next leader enjoys support and has the longevity to lead the country. Sri Lanka is not the only South Asian country facing serious economic pressure. Others include Pakistan, with which the IMF recently reached a staff-level agreement to extend about $1.2 billion in aid, and the Maldives, whose debt-to-gross domestic product ratio stood at 123.4% last year, according to the IMF's estimate.
Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, says that the previous government and central bank authorities have acted in a manner as if Sri Lanka did not require IMF assistance. He has made these remarks in an interview with the CNN media network.
Earlier administration of the central bank and the government had a different economic model that they were pursuing, what they call wrong model, that they basically were insisting that Sri Lanka did not need support from the International Monetary Fund for a bailout, and Sri Lanka did not need to restructure external debt. That was a position the previous administration was taking.
Does the country have enough money beyond the end of July to make fuel purchases, for example?
Yeah, in fact, available external resource in the central bank, liquid resource is almost very low, almost non-existent, because whatever the available resource in the central bank we have utilized to import, support import of some shipments of petroleum products and some of the gas supplies. So that with that we have been able to secure supply of some shipments of petrol and diesel for next couple of weeks. But beyond that, it is in fact the responsibility of the new government to secure some short-term green financing to be able to finance essential imports in next for 5 months until we were able to get the bailout package from the IMF probably somewhere in December. So this is a challenging time. So from next month onwards, we are basically negotiating some of the bridging financing facilities from our friendly countries like India, China. So that we need new administration should start the approaching those friendly countries or some of the sources to secure some short-term financing so that we will be able to supply essential items for the people to have their day-to-day operations smoothly.
At a time of deep political instability in your country and pain for the people, what can you say to Sri Lankans watching this interview to give them some comfort at this moment?
I think, in my view, we have a clear program, a clear path that if we follow this path, this reaching, starting from the IMF, reaching consensus with the creditors, I'm sure, I'm confident that we can come out of this crisis, say for example, in about 5 months' time. But until then, we will have a difficult time. So we will have to explain to the public that we will go through this difficult process in economic crisis. If people are going to be patient, people have expectations of some recovery with the new administration taking strong measures. We have a light at the end of the tunnel. So that is what I'm confident. If we are going to have a stable administration from tomorrow onwards, then we can make strong decisions by the administration, and we also support from our multiple side on central bank. Together we can come out of this crisis, but there will be a difficult time. I hope people will be patient and hoping to see the better future, but going through a difficult, painful process in the next couple of months, or 3, 4 months, or 5 months until then.
Fuel issuance restrictions from Seipetco filling stations based on the QR code have been announced.
Supplying of fuel based on the QR code system is scheduled to commence on the 25th of this month. Accordingly, fuel is being provided for motorcycles subjected to a restriction of 1,500 rupees. For three-wheelers, the limit is 2,000 rupees, and for other vehicles, it's 7,000 rupees. Fuel is to be issued according to the final digit in the number plate of the vehicle. Accordingly, vehicles bearing the final digit of 0, 1 and 2 in the number plates are to be issued fuel on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Fuel for vehicles with the last digit of 3, 4 and 5 is scheduled to be delivered on Thursdays and Sundays. The vehicles having the numbers 6, 7, 8 and 9 as last digit in their number plates are to be issued fuel on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. The Minister of Power and Energy says a pilot project based on the QR code is scheduled to be conducted in several locations in Colombo from tomorrow till the 24th of this month.
The Ministry of Education has issued a series of instructions over maintaining normal activities in schools in the 2022 school year. All those schools were scheduled to be reopened on Thursday the 21st. The existing fuel shortage and the crisis situation has compelled to postpone recommencement of school activities till the 25th of this month. The first term of the year has been extended till the 7th of September. The durations of the second and third school terms will be informed later. The first term exams should not be conducted despite the fact that the school syllabuses should be followed according to the revised recommendations. The school sessions will be restricted to only Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays from next Monday until further notice. Online learning is recommended on Wednesdays and Fridays when schools are not being conducted. The Golfers protest marks the 103rd day of activity today. Some protesters were engaged this morning in a satyagraha in front of the Presidential Secretariat, expressing their protest on Ranil Wickremesinghe. Later on, a protest rally was conducted.
Meanwhile, a group connected to the agitation conducted a media briefing this afternoon and pointed out that the protest should be conducted continuously. Reverend Father Jivanta Peris said that what has happened today was that Ranil Wickremesinghe was elected as president due to the wishes of a few and without heeding to the voice of the people. Venerable Tampitius Sugathananda Thero said that the second phase of their plan is to send Ranil Wickremesinghe home. Convener of the Inter-University Students Federation Vasantha Mudalige said that they don't recognize Ranil Wickremesinghe as the president of the country. The protest will be extended without a break until he leaves office. Attorney at law Nuwan Bopage said that they will have to recommence the program of going back to the streets from next week. Jagat Manuruan said that the current rulers have proven that they are unable to bring the people out from the pit they have fallen into. Meanwhile, the fast in front of the temple trees is being conducted for the 6th day today. The Fourth Magistrate Courts in Colombo has issued an order today preventing any person entering a distance of 50 meters from the location of the Bandaranaike statue in Galle Face. Fourth Magistrate Tilinagamage has issued the order after considering a request made by the Fort Police Station in this regard.
The police has submitted a report to the judiciary stating that information has been received regarding preparations to damage the Bandaranaike statue. Therefore, it has requested the court to issue an order preventing any group entering a 50-meter distance to the statue. 4 suspects connected to the incident of setting fire to the residence of present President, former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, have been detained till the 27th of this month. Fourth Magistrate Tilinagamage has ordered today to direct 3 of the suspects to an identification parade. However, due to lack of adequate time, the conducting of the parade has been postponed till the 27th. Counsel appearing on behalf of the accused say the main suspects of the case are still roaming free. They have pointed out the need to arrest the main suspects. The Department of Criminal Investigation representative said that a person by the name of Ivan Pereira, wanted in connection with interrogations regarding the incident, has left the country. It has also been pointed out that airport authorities have been informed regarding this person. The CID has also informed the Fourth Magistrates Court today that investigation reports relating to the Western Province Senior DIG Deshabandhu Tennakon over the incidents on the 9th of May. Stay tuned for foreign news after this short break.
நாங்க சீக்கிரமா வங்கிக்கு போவோமா?
இந்த நாட்கள் எப்படிமா வெளியில போறது?
அப்பா வெஸ்டர்ன் யூனியன்ல பணத்தை அனுப்பி இருக்காரு.
அம்மாட கணக்கு இருப்பது மக்கள் வங்கியிலனால வங்கிக்கு போக தேவையில்லை. ஒரு கோல்லே வேலையை முடிக்கலாமே.
வாட்ஸ்அப் மற்றும் வைபர் ஊடாக தொடர்பு கொள்ளலாம். மக்கள் வங்கியில் மட்டுமே.
Welcome back, and now in your foreign news tonight, fires continue to run wild in countries across Europe where a heat wave has intensified drought conditions.
Though temperatures have cooled in France and the UK, firefighters are still tackling blazes in Greece, Spain and Italy. The fires in France's badly hit southwest have started to be brought under control. And as the heat wave moves northeast, low water levels are hampering transport on rivers in Germany. In Greece, nearly 500 firefighters are tackling a blaze in Mount Penteli to the northeast of the capital Athens as the effects of the heat wave persist. 3 aircraft and 4 helicopters were deployed at dawn to help them tackle the blaze, the fire service said. Winds in excess of 80 kilometers per hour have made it harder to contain, the BBC's Stephen Ryan reports. Almost all the water carriers in the region have been deployed, with additional support coming from most other regions in the country, the fire service said. Hundreds have been evacuated from the surrounding areas, including eastern Jerichos, which is home to nearly 30,000 people. A pediatric hospital and the National Observatory of Athens have also been evacuated. Fires have destroyed vast swathes of land in other areas of the continent too.
Welcome back. And now in your sports news tonight, Pakistan has won the first test of the current series against Sri Lanka by 4 wickets at the Galle International Cricket Stadium today.
When play was resumed today, the Pakistan team has scored 222 runs for the loss of 3 wickets in their second innings. The first wicket to fall in the Pakistan innings today occurred when Mohammad Rizwan was dismissed for 40 runs. Pakistan team has achieved victory after scoring 344 runs for the loss of 6 wickets. Abdullah Shafiqi has remained unbeaten with 160 runs. Bowler Prabhat Jayasuriya captured 4 wickets. The second test of the current series between the two countries will commence at the Galle International Cricket Stadium on the 24th of this month.
And with that, we conclude tonight's English news on Rupavahini. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Until then, stay safe and good night.
Good night.